Hello, welcome. So this is our first almost test stream, if you like, and today we're going to be installing Windows NT4 from start to finish, and yeah, we are going to be you know, as I say, we're going to go from start to finish. We're going to see if we hit any roadblocks. We are going to see if we you know, any issues, because a lot of people seem to have issues with NT4 under virtualization, so we're going to try and unpick some of these. This is kind of our test stream to see if you know, when we come to do our proper videos, that we can help some people. So as part of this, what we've done is also we've compiled a CD of all the updates that we've been able to find so far. This is also on our GitHub. We're constantly going to be updating this. We're finding new things that are coming through all the time, and you know, that have been missed and overlooked. So yeah, let's dive straight into it, shall we? So today we're going to be using VMware Workstation to virtualize here. There's a lot of other products out there that can be used, but today this is what we're going to be going with. So we've already set up the virtual machine, and yeah, we're going to go for it. So let's power this on and send this full screen, so hopefully you can see that a little bit better. So this is Windows NT4 with Service Pack 1 already slipstreamed into the build. One of the requirements of VMware Workstation is Service Pack 1. Also, one of the other requirements for VMware Workstation is you need Service Pack 6 installed to install the VMware tools. So this is going to look a little bit awful until we can get to that point, but we will be installing each Service Pack one at a time. So we'll just let this do its thing a minute. Okay, here we go. So on with the install. So we're just going to do a normal setup. We're not going to add any drivers here. We're just going to go with what's been put up here. And we're going to continue the setup. So we'll read the licensing agreement, and we're going to agree to that. Now we're in the UK, so we're just going to move that over to the UK keyboard, and we're going to carry on. So again, we've got a 4 gig you know, hard disk associated with this VM. NT4 Service Pack 1 could only take up to 4 gig. You can add additional drives to that, but later service packs that were slipstreamed into it allowed slightly larger hard disks. And we're going to use NTFS, and away we go. So we're going to go with the default folder for Windows, and we're going to allow it to do an examination of our hard disk. It's a VM, so it shouldn't take very long. And away we go installing. Okay, right, here we go. So let's restart the machine. Sorry about that, I think we had a slight blip there with YouTube. All seems to be back now. Alright, so here we carry on with the setup now. So we're going to continue here. For the purpose of this video, we're just going to go with the typical installation. We'll just fill out our names here. We're going to carry on, give it a computer name. I'm not going to do a password for this, so we're just going to carry on, and we're also not going to create a repair disk. This is a virtual machine, so I'm not massively worried. And once again, we're going to stick with the most common components, and we're going to install NT networking. I wouldn't recommend connecting this to the wired network, but the way I've got mine set up, it shouldn't be an issue. So again, that is our network card, so we're going to continue, and away we go. I'm going to continue on with that, and yes, we would use DHCP. This should be launching all the networking services now. We haven't got a domain set up, so workgroup will be fine, and it looks like we're going to finish the setup. And it's already detected because we put it in that we're in the UK, that we're on Greenwich Mean Time, so we'll carry on with that. Now this we're not expecting to work. We don't have the VMware tools, so we're not going to be able to accept anything too exciting here, so we're just going to continue with this. A few more files to copy. Looks like we're getting ready for our final reboot into Windows now, so let's carry on and let's do that. We've got a 30-second countdown here. We will drop that down when we get into Windows, so we're just going to continue for now. And now we're listing that we have Service Pack 1 pre-installed already. So this machine is, we've configured this with a single core and 256 meg of RAM, and as we saw earlier, a 4 gig hard disk. So let's Control-Alt-Delete. Let's get into the operating system and see what we can do. And here we are. So we are in. I'm just going to run a quick win. See where we're at. Right. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to attach our CD that we have compiled that has all the service packs and updates. As I said before, you can get this from our GitHub. There will be a newer version coming very soon. We are just ironing out a few issues with it. And here we go. So this is all the bits we've been able to acquire for NT4, and we're basically going to work our way through this. So we want to do service packs before we do anything else. So let's pop that open. So as we said, we have service pack 1 already installed. Let's go with service pack 2 now. We need to tidy this up a little bit. Service pack 2 needs to be extracted, so we're going to go and look for update, which is how we start the service pack. So let's run that. Let's just close this folder down and follow the wizard basically. Again, this is a VM, a little test, so we're not going to create an uninstall directory because we're going to move our way through these service packs. So let's carry on. I'm not anticipating this is going to take very long. Which it did not. So now we're going to restart our machine. And again, we're going to just skip this bit. And here we go. Now we're registering service pack 2 there, which is a good sign. And again, into Windows, Control Delete, Enter. We're going to run a quick WinVer there. Let's get rid of this box. We don't need that. And we're now definitely on Service Pack 2. So close that. We're now going to open our CD again, open our folder, and on to Service Pack 3. Now, Service Pack 3 is a little bit easier. It can be run straight from the individual file. Again, it's much the same. Slightly different license, EULA agreement. But we're going to install the service pack. Again, we're not going to create an uninstall directory, sorry. And we're just going to carry on. And again, I'm not expecting this to take very long at all. Compared to, you know, service packs of later operating systems, the ones for NT4 were not of a huge size. There we go, and that one's now installed. You could jump straight from Service Pack 1 to Service Pack 6. However, part of this live is to test our CD and make sure everything is working. So we are going to slowly work our way through all the service packs. The only thing I might miss is all the versions of Internet Explorer we've included on the on the disc as well, but we might choose a couple of them, and yeah, we'll see how far we get. So here we go. Now we're reading Service Pack 3 there. We'll delete again. I'm not quite sure why, but certainly in VMware after Service Pack 2 it does seem to take a second or two longer with loading the desktop. I'm not 100% sure what that's all about yet. Okay, Service Pack 3. On again. Service Pack 4. And again. Pretty straightforward. We can just double click and away we go. The service packs from here on do get a little bit bigger, but again, compared to newer operating systems, we're not talking a massive size. So NT4, so Service Pack 4, sorry, slightly different license agreement again. So we're not going to create an uninstall directory. We will accept the license agreement and we will install. Again, this slightly newer looking window here compared to the previous versions, which just seem to copy files in the basic Windows format. They've given this a slightly newer GUI and front end. essentially just copying files and registry files into Windows. And again, we're going to reboot again. As I say, we are flying through these. This shouldn't take too long. Ooh, and there we go. There's the first one. So this is something that a lot of people have mentioned before, that VMware Workstation has a habit of doing this. So I believe the fix is generally just give the machine a reset and away it goes. It does seem to be something to do with VMware basically just being a bit quick. I think that's what it seems to be. It just seems to upset NT4. It does seem to get a little bit better when sort of you get to Service Pack 6. I've certainly seen a lot less of it, but yeah, as I say, quick reset and away we go. At the desktop with no dramas this time. It's only taking us slightly longer this time to load the desktop, that's for sure. Aha, and we're greeted with a new warning. Resolve the known NT4 year 2000 issues. Please install Internet Explorer 401 with Service Pack 1. Microsoft Data Access Components version 2 with Service Pack 1. We're not going to read the install. Both of those applications that are required are on this disk, and we will be getting to them a little bit later on. So let's do a WinVer, and we're up to Service Pack 4. So we'll jump straight to 5. Again, we've got the same agreement. We're going to agree to that. We're not going to have an uninstall. Again, much the same as Service Pack 4. But again, installs in no time. Most of these older operating systems on newer hardware and SSDs do not take as long as they used to back in the day. This probably would have taken a good hour back in the day. Right, I'm going to restart again. Seems to have a little bit more data to write this time. It is taking a little bit longer. I wonder if we have another issue or if it's... No, there we go. It's rebooted. Again, we're going to skip that. We need to take that down a little bit, I think. Looking good again. We are registering Service Pack 5 there. We seem to be booting without any major dilemmas this time round. And we're at the login screen. So let's Control-Alt-Delete and away we go. If you're in full screen or you need Control-Alt-Delete, VMware have a nice keyboard shortcut. Is Control-Alt and Insert will send through the Control-Delete commands rather than you Control-Alt deleting your entire machine. There we go, we're at the desktop, so let's Windbird, make sure we're all good. Yep, Service Pack 5. What we're also going to do before we do Service Pack 6 is take down that 30-second counter. So that is found if you do properties of your My Computer, you hit the Start Shutdown tab, and you got here. So you got your two options. We're going to take this from 30 to 5. We'll apply that, okay. Just makes things a little bit nicer. And a final service pack, so Service Pack 6A. So there was an issue and some files were removed from Service Pack 6, which is why Microsoft released a 6A. Again, greeted by the same window from Service Pack 4 onwards. But essentially we're just copying files. As I said before, it really doesn't take very long to install these days. And the final restart for service packs today. Hopefully this time we'll only get a 5-second countdown for the NT loader. 3, 2, 1. Yep, there we go. So that's worked perfectly. It's a little bit nicer. And we're reading Service Pack 6, so that is perfect. Right, now we have Service Pack 6 installed, and we'll just sanity check that. We should be able to get some drivers and start making this look a little bit nicer. So let's have a quick look and see what we can do here. And taking slightly longer to get to the desktop. But we got there in the end. We're in for... there we go. So, we're reading Service Pack 6, but Microsoft added a little notification here, so this is a revised Service Pack 6A. So that is the slight change that I mentioned previously. So let's get some drivers and get some colour and make things look a little bit nicer for us here. So I'm just in VMware, just ticking the Install VMware Drivers tab. VMware Tools as its actual name is, not VMware Drivers, but yeah, so it's a pretty simple, typical install will be fine. What do we get here? We've got a warning. Machine does not appear to have the latest version of Microsoft HTML help engine. Would you like to install it? So we should go yes on this one. Yes, we will okay that. Take an old version of Internet Explorer is in full. An updated version 4 is required for online work. Yep, that's fine. We already knew this. Service Pack 4 has already warned us that we need to update that. The SVGA driver is our mouse driver. Finish that, and yes, we're going to need another reboot. So hopefully we should have a slightly nicer colour and be able to get a slightly better resolution out of this in a second. Ah, there we go. Now we've got some colour coming through. Let's log in. Let's see if we can get a slightly better resolution out of this. Oh, there we go. We were complaining that the resolution is not good, so let's have some true colour, shall we? Let's bring this up a tad. Let's see how that looks. Ooh, come back. We didn't mean it. Come back. There we go. So let's do a test on that. Okay. Oh, that's looking good. Yes, it did. We'll apply that. There we go. So hopefully you can still see everything, but that just makes things a little bit nicer. Right, so let's carry on. So one thing I did forget to mention is under NT4 and quite a few of the slightly older operating systems, the VMware drivers do not contain a sound driver. So if I remember correctly, we have this on the disk. So if we come down to the basic drivers here and open it up, we should have sound. Now this is a Sound Blaster audio driver. So we shall pop this on. Again, doesn't take very long to do, but hopefully we should be getting some audio and that should come through very shortly. Oh, we've had an error. Okay, that. I wonder what has got upset there. So we will we'll restart the computer, and because it's NT4 and there's services as part of the sound driver, it will not take effect until the machine has restarted. So one of the gripes I remember back in the day that a lot of people did complain was the amount of reboots. They probably still do complain about the amount of reboots in Windows, but NT4 was particularly known for every little thing you did had to be rebooted. Right, back at the login screen. So let's get in. Do we have sound? I'm not sure if that's come through on the stream, but we most definitely have sound now in NT4, which is fantastic. So the next thing we're going to do, you can do, actually we won't do this in this one, you can add USB support. If this was on a bare metal tin, I would recommend installing this, but we don't for the purposes of this live stream. We're not going to do that, so we're going to carry on with our CD. So the next thing we've got Internet Explorer versions. So let's install. So we've included most of the main versions. So pre-bundled in to NT4 is version 2, so a incredibly old version. So it recommended to start off with version 4. And if memory serves, I think it was 401. So let's pop that version of Internet Explorer on. So again, you're looking for IE4 setup, and yeah, we'll follow the wizard. So again, we're going to do standard installation. We don't need some of the more advanced things. This is going to obviously give us Outlook Express. It's going to upgrade our media player. I think that takes it to version 6.4, but we've got some updates for that later and a few other bits and pieces. So let's carry on. Active desktop. So looks fun, looks fancy. Wasn't really good, but we'll stick it on for the sake of this video. So let's pop it on. And again, we're in the United Kingdom, so yeah, we're going to accept the default location. And here we go. We're now backing up the current configuration, and then start slapping on IE4. Be nice to see the old girl again. It's been a little while. And now they've retired Internet Explorer, and Edge has taken over. You don't get to see this very often anymore. Microsoft VM for Java. There we go. And surprise, surprise, we have another restart. So let's go with that. And again, I'm not sure how well that's coming through, but there was definitely audio as we shut down. How many people remember this? We used to see this all the time when ever anything was updated in Windows. Certainly Microsoft products, this seems to be the way that they seem to do things, but it's flying through that. Oh, and more settings. This is shortcuts and active desktop that it's setting up. There we go. I think we might miss the tour. I don't think we really need to do it, so let's just close that window. And yes, we have active desktop. And big bold letters that it's telling us. So also over here it's created the back and forth button, which we didn't have before, so this looks all a little different. I seem to remember you can go in and set one-clicks like web links and bits and pieces like that, but for the sake of this video, again, we're not doing that. So let's jump back to our CD, which we've not seen for a little while. So under Service Pack 6A, this is recommended, this fix here, sorry, beg your pardon. So this is a security rollup package. This contained a number of security errors, but also I've seen reported that going forward and Service Pack 6, Internet Explorer 6, it was something that was required that made life a little bit easier when you came to installing that. So we're going to pop it on. So again, this is a little script we've run. So we'll get you the file installed, or the update installed, sorry. Again, most of the old NT4 fixes were just file copies, but there we go. We're going to reboot anyway. And we'll move on. If anybody later on watches this and enjoys it, please let us know so we can potentially look at creating some more of these. I think everyone's seen a Windows install, but if anybody's interested in this sort of thing, I'm more than happy to do some more. There's a lot of operating systems out there, so we've got a fair bit of material to work with. One thing, no, we don't want to show you that. One thing we are going to do, just because it makes things look a little bit nicer, is we're going to go to the properties over here. We're going to go to the plus section. So this is like the plus pack for Windows 95. I'm going to give all the icons some colour, and let's have some smooth edges on our fonts. So it'll be quite nice. We'll OK that. Of course, once again, doesn't really take into effect until you restart Windows NT, but again, we can wait for that. So we're going to jump back to our CD, and the next thing on our list is Internet Explorer 6 with Service Pack 1. So let's jump on that, and it's going to start installing this for us. Setup wizard. Again, we're going to go with a typical set of components. We're not going to do anything too spicy here. Oh, that was a big jump very quickly there. Probably because it's a fairly clean install of Windows. It's not really been used, and we haven't done anything too exciting. I suspect if you were using this as a bit more frequently like you would normally, I suspect that will take a bit longer, but no, we've got nothing really configured here. That, and surprise surprise, we're going for another reboot. Taking slightly longer on the shutdowns there, but we are installing quite a lot into the operating system. Most of these updates would have been applied over time by ooh, and we've got another crash. Again, this is something very common to VMware. To be fair, I think it was fairly common to NT4 as a whole, but certainly VMware seems to be plagued by this. I've seen it here and there, but it's not a regular thing. It does seem to be when you're doing quite a lot to it. But again, quick reset of the hypervisor, and it seems to kick back into life. Again, with very little issue. That made it think. seem to remember this was a complaint with a lot of people. I remember Internet Explorer 6 coming out, it was quite slow to install, but we are getting there. Good old system services. As you can see, we've switched on the true colours for the icons and the additional colours, so things are looking a little bit prettier now, which is nice to see. Nice to see the old girl looking quite pretty. So again, let's jump back into our CD and see what the next thing. Even our CD looks a little bit nicer. There we go. So, .NET Framework. Let's give that a go. And yes, we would like to install it. Again, fairly simple installs. Generally just agree and next, and off they install. Installed correctly. Again, something we've tried to, as you go through all of these, we've tried to see if we can find the updates. We've tried to mark where they need a reboot. That one clearly did not. So let's carry on with the list. So on to Media Player 6.4. Yes, we would. Install Media Player. So this is going to update it. So we've had a recent version with Internet Explorer 6. It takes up to a later version, and it's triggered Internet Explorer to load. So we're on our LAN, and we'll watch this fail dismally because most of these sites and everything will be shut down. But we can check. So here we have Internet Explorer 6. Now we installed a Media Player, but we have Internet Explorer 6 with Service Pack 1. This is important because we're going to be installing some updates to this very shortly. But anyway, Media Player opens just as it always did. Absolutely fine. So on to the next product. So we've got Microsoft Jet version 4 SP8. A lot of products back in the day required this. So we've included it if you wanted to install additional products onto NT4. Installer version 1.1. Obviously this brought MSI support to NT4. Again, it doesn't take very long. I'm always happy. So you would have seen earlier Java for Java VM, and this does require a reboot. Now we are going to install this because we've installed quite a bit already, and we do need a reboot before we start installing the Service Pack 1 updates. If you don't install some of these other products here, you don't need to reboot, but this, if you follow our order, you will need a reboot at this point. So let's do that. Yes, we would like to install it. Again, these are fairly tiny packages, so they don't take very long to install. And yes, we would like to reboot again. we're back at the login screen. Straight back to the desktop with, again, no dramas. So let's jump back to our little CD. So we are going now with Internet Explorer updates. We have actually added a couple more than this, I believe. But again, this is still a work in progress, so please bear with us a minute. Maybe not. Maybe we've got some updates to add to this. Trying to sort of find all these updates and bring them all together is tricky. Again, reboot again. But we're finding them from the depths of the internet. So I know there's a few more coming to this. So I don't know how useful this is to people, but there are some fantastic projects out in the world. Legacy Update being obviously the big one, bringing Windows Update back to some of the older operating systems. Obviously this didn't have Windows Update, so it was all done manually, which is where we're trying to step in. I've seen a couple of other small projects like this, nothing quite hopefully as comprehensive as what we've tried to do here, what we tried to bring together, but much the same, you know, all important. If you're interested in these older operating systems, or you have a reason to, you know, keep using these, you know, I've worked in IT now for about 25 years, and I've seen reasons to keep older operating systems together. You know, I used to work for a college, and we had a particular cutter, and the company did make newer drivers, so we had to keep Windows 2000 alive. So there are reasons out there to keep these older operating systems alive, and if nothing else, it's, you know, you want to see what it was like back in the day, it's just a bit of fun. So we're carrying on. So yes, no, what we'll check before we carry on actually is if we jump over to Internet Explorer, I'll see we've got some updates here after SP1. So yeah, it's all good, all adds to this. So here we go, we've now hit the section. So this is all the so some of the updates we have, as I say, we've got a new version of this coming, and there's going to be a lot more updates, but these are the updates that we've managed to find. What we've managed to do is use a product that Microsoft created called QChain, and this is where you're going to try and install all of these in one, so you're not rebooting after each install. We've had to break the updates up into two sections. It's just for ease, to be honest. If we can combine it later, we will. But just for ease, we've split them in half for now. So let's go for it. Again, it just plows through and installs. Again, most of these updates are quite tiny. Oh, I didn't need a reboot there. Fantastic. So let's go on with the next bunch of updates. We're going to say no to this one because I'm aware that there are some more updates there, so this is something we need to fix. Again, we're going to say no to this. So we have some bits we need to resolve. We're going to say no to that. So fantastic. So we've got those installed. So let's carry on with MSXML version 4 with Service Pack 3. See if it'll let us install that without rebooting. Fantastic, it does. And we've got a couple of updates for Windows Media Player. So let's go ahead and do that. Again, if we pop that open, we should have a slightly higher build number now, which we do. I believe that was on 6.4.7.1112. We've now gone up to 2.4, so that's great. This is a little update. So Microsoft brought Paint that they released with, Windows 98 to Windows NT 4. This was to do with a glitch to do with Office 97 not being able to function properly. So we've created a little installer for you here. do that. There we go. It's just currently patching, and it triggers an automatic reboot. So trying to make everything easier with this CD. There's still some work to do, hence why we've not released the latest version yet. I would say give us another week, and then we will be doing that. Taking its time again, but here we go. There's quite a lot that we've done to that before the last reboot. And again, we've upset NT4, so let's just quickly reset. All being well, it should carry on loading. Which it does. Now this is something, so with some of the updates, we have spotted this before. It does seem to upset VMware tools. It's not the end of the world, you can just reinstall it and it does work. I think it might be something to do with, we think we know what the update is, so we are investigating that at the moment, but before we reboot again we will have a look. So we're going to carry on anyway, see what the next thing is. So this is power options. So NT4 did not contain some of the advanced power management features that a lot of new motherboards came with later on. So we can demonstrate this very simply. What we'll quickly do is we'll reinstall VMware tools just to fix that error. A second, this shouldn't take very long. So yes, with pre-ATX, I believe this came in with, you know, when it had the ability to shut itself down, you used to have physical power buttons. You used to have to manually turn your machine off. Now, this was back in the day where that was pretty standard operating procedure, and NT4 took take of that. Later on, there was a fix that was created, but it was not part of NT4 as standard. There was a very complicated way of getting this to work, and no's there. So allow me to demonstrate. So we'll close that and we'll shut down VMware, and then we should get a window in a second saying you can safely turn off your computer or you can reboot. There we go. So it's now safe to turn off the computer, or we can reboot from there. So that's what happens. So we're going to restart that. We're going to get back into Windows, and we've created a little script and brought all the files together that you need to fix this problem going forward. This is not on the current release that you can download from our GitHub. It will be on the next release. As you can see, there's still a few more things we need to resolve yet. It's not quite ready, so give us another week or so, because we are doing this in our spare time. We've got no more VMware issue this time round. So let's go back. So this mostly is the last thing we're going to do. So there are two options here, but maybe they're slightly bigger. So it's single CPU support and multi-CPU support. So you need to kind of pay attention to which you have in your machine. In our scenario here, we have a single CPU, so we're going to go with that. So we're going to install this. Now that's put the fix. It's going to, there we go. It should automatically reboot. It is not, so it's something we need to, again, there are bits we need to fix on this. So we just give that a quick reboot. Hopefully this is the last reboot of the day, because we are nearly done for this session. One thing I'm going to quickly do before we finish up is we just have a little cleanup process at the end here. There's a few files have to be copied to the C drive, and there we go, that's all cleaned up. So in theory now, if this works, we should be able to shut down correctly. So we shut down, it should automatically shut down. And there we have it. We've brought advanced power management to NT4. So I want to thank everybody for watching, or everybody who watches this back later. This is a bit of a labour of love. This is not a full-time job or anything. This is just something we're doing because we want to give back a little bit. So yes, so thank you very much for watching, and keep an eye on the GitHub. There will be a new version, so this will get a little bit slicker, a little bit neater, a little bit tidier. But yes, so just want to say thank you very much. So until next time, catch you in the next one.